What game theory lessons can we learn from the TV show Bridgerton? My name's Matt Rosu. I teach a game theory course at Susquehanna University, and each semester students apply game theory to a topic they love and create a video. I post some of the best, and here is Kayla Gaston talking about Bridgerton and where game theory applies. Check out the previous video for a season 1 example. This is from season 2, where we see a bit of conflict and decision making between Kate, Edwina, and Anthony.
Moving on to season 2, it's now Anthony's turn to decide to marry. And he wants a logical match more than he wants a loving match. And at the same time, there's not really anyone in in London that he's interested in. But the good news is the Sharma sisters enter from India. They're actually members of the London nobility that had left to go to India due to marrying off and traveling there. But the sisters come in. Everyone's very impressed, especially by Edwina, the younger one. Kate's a little bit older and not really as eligible of a match. She's kind of considered what's known as a spinster. So she's not really trying to find a match. She's more trying to get a good outcome for her sister. But Edwina is declared the diamond by the queen. Kate, on the other hand, doesn't really like Anthony and kind of tries to send him off from her sister. But he spends a lot of time with Kate to try and win her over because he wants to be with the diamond, most desirable outcome, so she can be a good wife for him and carry on the title well. But in the process, Kate and Anthony actually fall in love. But nonetheless, Anthony proposes to Edwina because she's the logical match, she's the logical decision, and will be the best outcome for him, he thinks. Edwina accepts, and the queen throws them a very grand, very expensive ball. The whole town's there watching. Obviously, it's a lot of pressure that everything goes well. And unfortunately, it doesn't go well necessarily, and there's a very dramatic scene at the altar.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered together here in the sight of God and in the face of this congregation to join together this man and this woman in holy matrimony.
The Archbishop would like you to repeat, my lord, after him.
Yes, of course.
I, Lord Anthony Bridgerton,
Allow me.
So, they're all standing up at the front. Kate is the maid of honor, and Edwina is obviously with Anthony. But he's kind of noticing that Kate is standing right behind Edwina, and he's trying to decide whether he should stare at her or ignore her. You'll actually see in that clip that he does end up staring at Kate, but if he had chosen to ignore her, everything could have gone great. Anthony could have ignored her, Edwina would have stayed, and they would have gotten married. And this is obviously the Pareto efficient outcome. It's a Nash equilibrium. Everything would have been perfect. But since that doesn't happen, and we know that he stared at Kate, let's look at some of these outcomes. So, Edwina now, since Anthony stared at Kate, can choose whether she's going to stay or run. You can't really see it because my picture's blocking it, but behind here, the payoff is actually 2-1-1, I believe. Or, no, sorry, I lied. 2-2-1. So, for Edwina, it's better for her if she just stays than if she runs. And then for Kate, at this point, she can either confess her feelings to her sister, or she can reassure her sister. And, but the payoff for Kate's much lower if she decides to reassure than if she confesses her feelings once Edwina has run. So Kate's never really going to want to confess feelings. That'd be bad for her. Kate's never going to want to reassure and not just confess her feelings. That would be bad for her. But at the same time, Edwina should logically never want to run whenever it would be better for her to stay. Same thing with Anthony. He should obviously want to ignore Kate because that's better for him than staring at her. But as we can see, that's not what he decided. So explaining that, if we get the Pareto efficient outcome where Anthony ignores Kate, Edwina stays, they all get married. Well, not they all get married. Anthony and Edwina get married. Anthony has a logical choice. Edwina marries up and is in the nobility now. And Kate's happy because she successfully found her sister a match and accomplished her goal of what she came to London for. If Anthony ignores Kate and Edwina runs, and Kate admits her feelings, the wedding is called off. Anthony is still in good standing publicly, even though he's a little embarrassed, but, he didn't really do anything wrong. No one noticed anything. Edwina here is going to be devastated because, her sister was secretly in love with her man, but she's not ruined. But now Kate is kind of happy because she has a chance for love. And the whole town doesn't think that she's the reason why, currently. And then at the same time, if Anthony ignores, Edwina runs, and then Kate reassures, it's a little embarrassing for both Anthony and Edwina, but Kate's happy for her sister, even though it was hard for her to lie, and the wedding goes on. Alright, so moving on to the side of the decision tree where Anthony stares at Kate. If this happens and Edwina stays, the wedding goes on, Anthony gets his logical choice, Edwina gets to marry up, even though she'll resent Anthony for loving Kate, and Kate's going to be a little sad because she doesn't get love, but she's still going to be happy for her sister, and there was not really any embarrassment in the town, even though there's a little bit of resentment between the couple. If Anthony stares and then Edwina runs and Kate admits her feelings, this is going to call the wedding off, obviously, and then Edwina's going to be devastated. Kate's going to feel bad for her sister, but she's going to be happy to have a chance at love. Anthony's not going to be, that ruined, and it'll just be, crazy women, unfortunately, because that's how they're viewed in the London society. And if Anthony decides to stare at Kate, Edwina runs, and Kate reassures her sister, then Kate's going to be really sad because that was going to be really hard for her, and she knows that Anthony loves her. And obviously, realistically, Kate's never going to want to do this because that would really be a rough payoff for her. But if that happens, Edwina's going to wonder if everyone knows that she ran because Anthony was staring at Kate, but since Kate reassured her, the wedding will go on without a hitch. Alright, so thank you so much for listening. If you know Bridgerton, you'll understand why I put the Lady Whistledown Society paper there. And I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about the kind of game theory that happens within the show Bridgerton.